I feel like most digital marketing professionals don't really talk about this. Well, as an inside joke, but anyway, you'll see what I mean. So I made this video for new digital marketers that are finally getting their hands on ad accounts and they're scared to make mistakes. So in this video, you're going to hear lots of mistakes, even some of the mistakes that I've made as a new digital marketer and some from others that I found on Reddit. So if you do make some mistakes out there, I hope you learn from them, because I did. So I went on Reddit and I made a post asking digital marketing professionals in the PPC subreddit about what were some of the mistakes that they made managing ad accounts, whether they were new or just as a senior level position, and just making a simple mistake and losing money for the client. I was actually surprised about how many comments I actually got from the post. I think it's around 60 plus comments. And some of the responses that I got were like, they were losing crazy money. So let's jump into this first one. So this one says, I set a remarketing campaign on display and hours later, I see that we had around 80 new bad leads. They already starting on the bad foot. I go to the campaign and find out that audience expansion was on and was spending like crazy, 30 times its budget. Fortunately, we got the money back because the campaign is not supposed to spend 30 times. Whew. Now they lucked out on that one because I think Google sometimes spends, I think, at least double the amount of the daily spend. And for it to spend 30 times, yeah, he lucked out on that one. 30 times the budget. All right, let's go to this next one right here. So on this one, she says that she sets the max CPC to $50, well, 50 pounds instead of 50 pence, which is 50 cents. So thankfully, I called it the same day, but $1,500 or 1,500 pounds went down the drain. I don't even think I ever done that before, but I'm glad she called it the same day, because if that's just one day's spend and $1,500 down the drain, just think if she would have left work and came back the next day, she would have spent at least more than 1,500. All right, let's see what this next one's talking about. All right, so this one says, applied Google's recommendations and buried a good performing campaign. I actually had a client that actually turned on all the recommendations that Google had, and the performance on the campaign surprisingly did pretty good, even though majority of the leads were coming from broad match keywords. But I actually had to turn them off because it's not best practice to go and advertise on broad match terms. But it is something to test out, since we actually saw that it was bringing in some pretty decent leads. You know what I mean? So let's jump into this next comment. So this one says, I once did a copy paste error while changing URLs, which resulted in lots of 404s. So 404s are like broken links to a landing page or a website. So basically, this dude sent the traffic to a broken site where the page was just dead. So being generated over the weekend, and by lots, I mean thousands. So he sent thousands of people to this broken website or this broken page. What a costly mistake. And I was still in my first month and I almost got fired. Oh my goodness. Ended up staying for 5 years and left on very amicable terms with the guy who cussed me out and nearly fired me back then. Oh my goodness. So his manager was cussing him out. He sent all these people to a broken link. Yeah, it gets real sometimes, but I'm pretty sure he learned from his mistake, and I'm pretty sure he's at a better agency with a manager that's probably treating him a lot better, because he actually knows what he's doing now. Now I can tell she probably spent a lot of money on this one. So it says, many years ago, I was buying ads on Canoodle and Quago. I've never heard of those before. Network content networks, old school. So yeah, it was years ago. I had a PPC placement on NASCAR.com and meant to set bid for $2 and set it to $200 and went to lunch. Went to a 3-hour lunch and came back and spent $100K. Oops. Yeah, she might as well go ahead and pack it up, because ain't no way she spent $100,000 in 3 hours. 3 hours. Yeah, they would have told me to go home. So when you're managing these accounts, make sure when you're setting the bid limit or the keyword bids, make sure you setting them to where they're supposed to set. Not $200, not $50, but 50 cents. Make sure you double checking because you don't want to make these mistakes like they did. And if you do, just learn from them. Just learn from them. Let's go on to the next one. All right, my guy here, he says, spent $8K in 2 weeks on Facebook ads with the wrong creative. Already starting off wrong. This is not even the worst part. Worst part is that the wrong creative was a promo for one of their competitors. So he was running ads with the creative that was for their competitor. So these two had similar branding, and I mixed up the businesses and basically helped the competitor get promo for free while they lost $8K. When I had to do a creative report, my manager told me to just switch it to the correct ones in the Excel to cover up their tracks, or cover up our tracks. And this is why you will never trust an agency. So he was running ads with the creative, well, with the wrong creative, and the creative was actually their competitor. And then when it came to reporting time, his manager told him to just switch them up so they wouldn't get caught. I don't know a few agencies that do this, but that's bad business. But this dude, I guess he kept his job, but I'm pretty sure he ain't doing that again. And since they had the wrong creative for each account, I'm pretty sure it was okay. I don't say it was okay, but it made sense to switch it up a little bit. But I ain't saying it's okay. All right, let's move on to this one. So it says, not me, but a colleague. You sure it wasn't you? I'm just saying. It says, but a colleague added the word free as a search term instead as a negative keyword in Google Ads. Now that's just best practice, basic practice. You negative out the word free. But like I say, we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So let's see what happened. So it ran for some days before we noticed, and luckily we got our money back from Google that time. So Google was being lenient. They ain't take their money and run. So they actually, I guess they must have called Google and said, hey, we made a mistake. And sometimes Google will be like, all right, we'll give you this, we'll let you pass this time. But yeah, that never happened for me when I made the mistake. I wish. All right, let's go on to this next one. All right, let's see what this dude talking about. So it says flight dates ended, but the campaign didn't. We're all off to a wrong start. And I didn't think to check. After 3 weeks later, $250K spent. At first, the small agency owner threatened to sue me. Then the client wasn't even mad because all 250K netted a 4 times ROAS, meaning for every dollar they spent, they got $4 back. So I wouldn't be mad either if I was the client, above their goal. So yeah, of course. Then the agency owner wasn't mad because it was billed through a credit card in his name, and the extra $250K in credit card points paid for his whole family to go on a vacation that year. So the agency owner he got paid, and he went on vacay with the money. So I wouldn't be mad either. But then it says, LOL, I was still fired. Dang. Yeah, they gave him the boot. Now he's giving us some good word of wisdom. I always check things are turned off, and I use a better points card now. So this one was crazy. So my guy let the campaign run for 3 weeks and racked up a $250K bill. But luckily he got the green when he hit that four times ROAS for the client. So I'm pretty sure he made some good revenue that year. The client did. But yeah, my guy still got the boot. So he ain't gonna make that mistake again. I promise you. All right, I hope you liked this video because it's something different, and I thought that you guys would probably enjoy it, especially just learning and knowing about some of the mistakes that digital marketers make, even when they're new in their senior level, mid level, whatever. It's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to learn from them. So be sure to give this video a like, comment if you want to see more videos like this, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know what's the best place to actually work as a digital marketer, whether it's in-house or at an agency, be sure to watch this video right here because I'm going to explain the difference between working at both and which one you can actually make the most amount of money.